How do you motivate another person? If you've ever tried to motivate another person to complete a task, to change their behavior, to participate in an activity or whatever, then you know how frustrating it can be when you put in so much effort and yield little to no results. Now, many of my clients who are responsible for leading teams or organizational change, they ask me, how do I motivate people? And the short answer is you can't. Motivation comes from within and can only be controlled by the person who has to make the choice. And the truth is, we don't even need motivation to do something. We can just do it without being excited about it, without wanting to do it. We can just do things. So this idea that motivation has to be created is a false understanding of how we actually get people to do things. So once you understand that you are not responsible for another person's actions or behaviors, that's going to help alleviate some frustration for you. So here are 3 things that you can do to alleviate your frustration as somebody who's trying to motivate another person. Number 1, focus on what you can control. Other people's behavior is outside your control. So you can educate, you can train, you can provide resources, but you can't make another person do something. So to help alleviate the frustration that you feel in that moment is focus on your own efforts. Are you satisfied with what you've done? Are you happy with what you've given to this situation? Do you feel as though you've done what you can do? And if so, focus on that. Focus on what you can control instead of worrying about another person's behavior. Number 2, build trust with people. So people aren't going to follow another person if they don't trust them to lead them. Sometimes we want to have people do something or follow us or take our advice, but we haven't yet earned their trust. And even though we know that we're trustworthy, we know that our experiences are valid, and we don't understand, why aren't you just listening to me? Trust me, I've been there, I've done this, I've experienced this. Building trust with people can take a lot of time, especially when you're working with folks who have a long history of not being able to trust people. Now, how you build trust is going to look different to everybody. Some folks are just inherently going to trust you. Some folks, it's going to take a lot of time. Some folks, it's providing testimonials or results. So what it looks like is going to be different for every person. But if you want somebody to follow you, you've got to build trust with them. And number 3 is create circumstances that will make it more appealing for people to change than to not change. This is the biggest thing that you can do to help motivate another person. Remember, you're not responsible for their behaviors and you can't make them do anything, but you can create an environment that influences the action that they take. Now, a lot of people want to take the path of least resistance. They want to do the easiest thing, the fastest thing, the thing that's going to get them the best results with the least amount of effort. So you can help create the circumstances and the environment for folks that makes that possible. Educating people to show them how making a change is more beneficial to them than staying the same. So this is what you can do. When I said focus on what you can control, these are the things that you have control over, is creating circumstances so that when somebody says, I can either change or stay the same, they're going to say, it's actually worth it for me to change. The benefits are there. It's easy enough to do. And it actually would be worse for me to not take this action. So again, if you're somebody who's in a position where you're trying to manage change people's behaviors, get people to do something or follow you, these are 3 things that you can do to alleviate your own frustration when you're not getting the results that you want. Focus on what you can control, build trust with people, and create the circumstances to make it more appealing for folks to change. If you do that and you focus on yourself and your part of the equation, then you're going to be able to say, I've done what I can. I feel good about my role in this. I feel good about what I have done. And that's going to bring you some of that relief from the frustration that you're feeling. If you want to learn more about burnout and find your burnout archetype, head over to carriezcoaching.com to take the free Burnout Archetype quiz.